Hey guys, today we're going through my video game pickups for the month of December 2022, so let's get started. So yes, we have a different shot here because I don't have access to certain equipment that I had previously with the shot that was back there against my shelf. So for the time being, basically like all videos with a self shot of me is going to be a shot just like this here. So apologize if you guys prefer the previous one here, but hey, this is just how it's going to be here from here on out. So the first thing that we got here, if you guys remember, I did end up getting this some time ago, Persona 5 Royal. Well, this edition finally has the rest of the stuff that came this month here, which is all in this chest right here. So this was the one more edition of Persona 5 Royal that came out with the re-release on all other platforms for the game. And what comes with this here, so we open it up. Inside this little box here, this is a clipboard that both no, I think it's Caroline who has this clipboard here in the Velvet Room. So it's one thing. Another is in this bag. There's just a bunch of like art cards of all the characters and like their main personas. This little bag here, this is like replica Arcana cards throughout all the games, through all the social links basically, and I'm still keeping this sealed, honestly. And finally, it's a bag very similar to the one that Akechi carries in the game here. Kind of expected like a better quality of it, but oh well, it is what it is though. It's a nice replica overall. The look of it is perfect overall too, so yeah, pretty cool to get the rest of this stuff here, since it was like a month and a half waited to get the rest of it after getting the game there. And speaking of which, also got, watched one of my best friends play through the game for the first time recently, and oh my god, that was enormous amounts of fun. That's one of the most fun I had this year in terms of just video game related stuff overall. So, alright, next stack of stuff here. This first pile here, this was from Chaotic Games this month. I did went over there to trade in a bunch of stuff that I don't need anymore, including Africa on PS3, as I don't care for that game at all. Plus, it wasn't a complete copy anyways, so it's not like it meets my standards for my collection anyways. But hey, just got rid of it, a bunch of store credit, combined with other stuff too. So, walked out with a bunch of good stuff right here. First thing here, this to me, it's the best game on the Nintendo 64, and to me that's not saying a lot there because there is not a lot of stuff on there that's worth your time these days. But this one though, it's Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Yeah, I do firmly believe this is a much better Zelda game than Ocarina of Time. For your first playthrough between the two games, I do say Ocarina of Time is the better game though, but repeated playthroughs though, and you're well versed into the series as a whole, like I do believe Majora's Mask is the better game personally. Still, so much aspects of this game blows me away. There's so much disturbing stuff in it, a bunch of side content that, yeah, it's all side stuff, but it's the main appeal of this game, and there's so much to it that really just gets you emotionally, still does to me to this day. This is the holographic sticker of the game here. I think this was considered like the collector's edition of it, but want to make sure that I got the holographic cover of it. They had like 4 copies of this at the store, and only one of those was holographic, which was this one here that I got. Next one is Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. The Monster Hunter series, I still have yet to play through this franchise, but it is one that interests me a lot since I am a big fan of action RPGs overall. And I do know that all 4 of the Monster Hunter games on 3DS, they do all have DLC in them, so I do want to get all of them before like the stores close eventually, come March pretty soon. Next one is Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Same premise with 3 Ultimate. Wanted to get it just that way I can get content in this game here. I'm sure Monster Hunter 4, it's still exclusive to the 3DS to this day. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, with this, I just need to get Monster Hunter Generations on the 3DS, and I'll have all 4 games in the series. Though it should be said, Generations does exist on the Switch as well, and it is probably like the better version. But given that I don't care for the Switch at all, I strongly despise that platform right now, so I'd much rather get the 3DS version anyways. Next game is Fantasy Life. I have not heard of this game until like months ago when a lot more attention was coming up on the 3DS, and I just started looking through its whole library to figure out what's worth getting on it, and this definitely came up on it. It seems kind of like a Harvest Moon or simulate life simulation type of game, or another one to compare it to be like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, and whatnot. But this one, what's interesting, it's made by Level 5, and if you know Level 5, they are an amazing bunch of developers that it's kind of sad that we haven't seen much from them at all in years because they have had financial troubles lately, but yeah, wanted to get this. Though there is a DLC for this game, though, so if you're at all interested in this game, like, you may want to pick a copy of it up sooner rather than later, though. Next game is Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. The Professor Layton games, I have started playing this series recently. I am starting from the very beginning with the first game. It's called The Curious Village on the DS, if I remember. I gotta say, these games, they are really, really good puzzle games overall. Like, some of the puzzles, they are really, really tricky, I gotta say. But I do want to try to get to the 3DS games pretty soon, though. In fact, I still have to get, like, the other games, which is the Azran Legacy, Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton. And the other one, it was, I think it's called Layton's Mystery Journal or something like that, because all like the 3DS games, they have DLC in them that is all free, but you can only access it once you have beaten all of the games, though. So yeah, since the stores are going to be closing pretty soon in March, gotta get the rest of those games pretty soon and finish the games too, though. So yeah, that's going to be a grind to get through, but yeah, got that one though. So just gotta get the other 3 off the list. And not going to be fun picking those up because the cheapest one is at like $60 if I remember, and the other 2 they are like $130 each roundabout. So, but want to get that content before it's gone forever. Well, got to do it soon. All right, this one. What's funny is I picked this up as brand new. I did open it though because I really do want to play this game. But the listing that I found this, it was being sold way less than what a sealed copy should sell for. And even then, it was about like $5-10 cheaper than an open, complete copy of it. So, yeah, I just clearly jumped the gun on this one. It's Project Zone 2. This, both this game and the first one is, these are amazing crossover games. I'm not going to name like all of them here, but some notable IPs that this game has in it is, let's see, Mega Man, Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, Phoenix Wright, Dot Hack is in it, Cosmos from Xenosaga is in it, Tekken, the main guy from Yakuza, I believe, is in here. Just a whole bunch of characters from so many different franchises, and all these IPs are from different companies and whatnot. It's amazing how much different characters is in this here. Like, I do recommend you guys look it up, though. It's amazing of how much is in this game. It's basically like a strategy RPG, and that's amazing. They managed to fit all these characters in it, and it's what seems like a really, really good RPG game. So, yeah, pick this up when you can. It's still a physical only 3DS exclusive on the system. Same for the first game as well, too, though. So, yeah, hopefully I can find a good deal on the first game. And the last thing got from Chaotic Games is Baten Kaitos Origins. This is it's an RPG game that is kind of like it has like some card-based mechanics in it, not as to the extreme of like Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, nowhere near like that from what I looked into it, but it's got slight elements of that stuff into this game here. It is published by Nintendo, which is pretty cool. And this game has been fairly expensive on the system. It has always been like 120 plus dollars, and thankfully this is a complete copy. So it has like the disc, manual, and 3 different inserts. Yeah, there's 4 different pieces of paper in this copy here. Man, do I miss manuals so much these days in modern games, but nonetheless, this is a RPG series I've been interested in. I've only like learned about it like few months ago because it's such a hidden gem on the system. Like I almost hear nobody talk about this series, so I do need to get the first game first though, because I believe this is like a prequel. I believe this came after the first game, I'm pretty sure, so yeah, there's that. Right, next deck. Got to thank my parents from picking these up for me when they were, I believe they were down in Ohio, and they visited a store down there and got 2 things here that I've needed. First one is Patapon. This is a pretty cool puzzle game. They made like 3 of these on the PSP. Then this is the first one that I got here, so just got to get the other 2 now. And the next one is Disgaea 3 Absence of Justice. The last Disgaea game I need to get on the PS3, I believe it's called Disgaea 2G, something like that. This has been like a pretty affordable game on the system, but the one that I mentioned earlier, that's probably like the most valuable one on the system to this day. So yeah, the dad and mother, like, thanks a lot for looking out once again to give me some pretty good stuff that I just did not have. Right, the last bunch here, this is all stuff that I ordered online. And starting out, we have a sealed copy of the Atooi Collection. This collection of games, it has Mutant Mudds Deluxe, Chicken Wiggle, Mutant Mudds Super Challenge, Zeo Drifter, and Bomb Monkey. I have had like multiple different copies of Mutant Mudds, both the Deluxe and Super Challenge. Same for Zeo Drifter too, but I never heard of Chicken Wiggle though, and it does look like a pretty good platforming game similar to Mutant Mudds. And Bomb Monkey, it's basically a Tetris clone to those. So I don't care much about that, but the other 4 games, though, that I mentioned, like I already have digital copies of those on my 3DS, except for Chicken Wiggle. I just still got to get that though. But you know, if you do want like one cartridge that has every single one of those games I mentioned, then you can't go wrong with that. Especially if you haven't picked up any of the games digitally on the 3DS, you're really saving maybe like a few dollars if you pick this copy up here. This was the very first limited run release on the 3DS, FYI. I'm sure like the next one after that was Go Go Coca Polo. I'm pretty sure that that was the next one, but yeah, quite happy to get this though. It's got a really good deal on it, and plan on keeping this sealed here because I already have the other games digitally except for Chicken Wiggles, and still got to get that one. Right, next one. This is a Japanese copy of Namco Museum Volume 1 on the PSP. So what's interesting, this game, we in the States, we got this as Namco Museum Battle Collection, and if I remember, that includes 20 different games in it. This one has 11 in it, and in Japan, they did 2 separate releases of like our version of it, essentially. So there's like Volume 1, which is this, if I remember, and a Volume 2. I think in the Japanese Volume 1 right here, there is like 1 or 2 exclusive games on here. I don't exactly remember correctly. It's been some time since I looked into that. But yeah, I just wanted to get this. Here's a really good deal on it that I just didn't pass up on it, and just got to get the other volume. And plus our version of Battle Collection too, so that way I actually have my region's version of it. Right, next one. There's no game in here, but this was just released as just like a novelty of it, though. It's Retro City Rampage DX on PSP. So it literally is just an empty case and the manual for the game here. There was never a UMD printed for Retro City Rampage on the PSP. I'm pretty sure this game, it was the last digital release on the PSP back then, and just V-Blank just decided, you know, screw it, let's make somewhat of a physical release for it, and people want to think like they have it in their collection and they can just buy this and just keep it on their shelf, though. You can buy like this plentiful online for like 3-5 bucks roundabout. So yeah, just wanted to get that for the novelty of it, of course. Next game is Yakuza Dead Souls. So this Yakuza game, this is still exclusive to the PS3 to this day. It is a pretty valuable game on the system as well. Not terribly expensive, but still expensive enough for a PS3 game, though. Saw a pretty good deal on it. Definitely took advantage of it. And as you probably guessed, it's basically a Yakuza, but it's got a whole zombie spin on it, essentially. So there is like third-person shooting in it, which most people feel mixed on it from what I've looked into it. Haven't played it yet, though, but do look forward to trying it out, though. Right, next game I finally got a copy of this here is Persona 4 on the PS2. So, Persona, for the original way that I played the game, was Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, because originally I got a digital version of it, loved it so much, I went out and bought the Solid Gold Premium Edition on the Vita, which today that is one of the most expensive things you can buy on the system. Like, back when I got it years and years ago, it was expensive because it was bought third hand, but I didn't regret it. I'm so glad I did back then now because it's way more than double in price now from what I paid. But finally got the original PS2 version. Well, one of these days when I'm feeling like playing this game again, like I'll definitely do the PS2 version because I haven't played through this yet. And like, yeah, I'm gonna be missing like some of the golden content, but there's not that much that they added in golden, truth be told. Then even like the new dungeon they added, like if you don't know how to prepare yourself for it, it can be a pain to go through. And it will be strange trying to deal with Chie's voice actor in this one, though, because I much prefer her voice actor after this version, because it just fits the character better. So, yeah, very happy to finally have a copy of this on PS2. It's just one of my favorite games ever in the last 10 years or so. Alright, next one is Sheepo on PS5. This recently came in earlier this week. It's pretty much like a platformer similar to, say, like Meat Boy and what's the other one? Celeste, I think that's what it was called. Though where it's like real quick levels you can go through and whatnot. I really like how the art style looks for this one, so yeah, glad that I got this here. Next one is Liege Dragon. This does appear to be like one of those like RPG Maker games, but what interests me with this one is like the battle system. It looks kind of similar to the style of like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, but hopefully, you know, not piss easy and like turn your brain off as you're playing through that game. Got it, you know, it makes me like really sad that you guys over in Europe, like Mystic Quest was your first Final Fantasy, but you know, I digress. This one looks really interesting with that type of a combat system, though, hence why that I got it. Alright, and the final thing we got is The Binding of Isaac Repentance. Remember I placed my order for this maybe like more than a year ago, and it finally came in after getting delayed constantly for its physical release. This is a deluxe version of it, where you see like you get a normal copy of the game. It also came with this little pack slip here. As we open it up, there is a little like booklet here, which is essentially just like a kind of like a newspaper like comic of just the universe here of Isaac and whatnot. I hate the smell of this because it smells like old ink. I really wish they didn't do that. I get it was part of like the whole appeal of what this thing was trying to be, but I hate the smell so much. And the next other things that you got here was also this little sticker of the game's title, and this nice outer box here to keep the game itself in. That on the very back of it, it's granted it's glitter, and I hate that, but it makes the effect where it's a CRT TV. You can see on there, and if you understand like stuff from the game of what it is, then it makes sense to you and whatnot. But yeah, this was a pretty cool set here. Binding of Isaac, still phenomenal game to play that you can sink hundreds of hours into it and still not be anywhere halfway done with it potentially. But definitely like an important game for the roguelike genre, which is one of my more favorite genres in video games. So yeah, very happy to get all that stuff right there. So yeah, that will do it for today's pickups, guys. Yeah, not much though, but hey, try not to get a lot of stuff here because things you guys should know is there's going to be some big changes coming up in my life pretty soon here that got to start accommodating for like these changes and whatnot, that I can't focus on buying a lot of stuff here for games and whatnot because in at least the time that I'm recording this, 2 days, I'm going to be 26, and with that age, unfortunately, going to have to start paying for certain things that you don't want to, but you have to though. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do comment below what was your favorite thing you saw here. What is some things that you guys got for this month. But be sure to rate this video, share with your friends, and do subscribe for more content like this in the video. Till then, guys, Happy New Year, and you enjoy your day.